New scrutiny is being raised over how much taxpayers are getting in return for all the money the state is spending to battle our homeless crisis. Our 10 News reporter John Horn joins us live in the newsroom with the new demand from a group of senators on this case. John.
Hi, Steve. Yes, the state has spent about $2.7 billion just in the last 2 years to try to tackle our homeless crisis. Now, 7 state legislators are asking for an audit of where everything stands. Now, all of them are Republicans, and they're going to need bipartisan support to get those answers.
Up until recently, across the street behind the pharmacy that's across the street, there's just a row of homeless tents.
State Senator Brian Jones says California's homeless crisis is front and center in his district and across the state.
This is number 1 and number 2 in people's minds.
But he says he's growing increasingly concerned that California isn't getting enough in return for all it is spending to solve the problem. In the last 2 years, the state has invested $2.7 billion, and Governor Newsom is proposing another $1.4 billion in this year's budget. Meanwhile, the Department of Housing says the state's homeless population increased by 16% last year.
I don't know where that money is going, and it's being appropriated by the legislature. So if I don't know where it's going, how can the taxpayers know where it's going?
Jones is one of 7 California legislators who signed a letter calling for an audit of the state's response to the homeless crisis. Homeless advocate Michael McConnell, who is not registered with a political party, says he's been asking many of the same questions that letter raises.
We know the big buckets that the money just kind of disappears into. But what we don't do is we don't follow it all the way through.
Last year, the San Diego County Taxpayers Association reported that local spending on homeless services increased 20-fold in the last decade, but varying data collection methods make it hard to track return. And we reached out to Governor Newsom's office. We're still waiting to hear back. We'll let you know when we do. Meanwhile, that request will go before the state's Joint Legislative Audit Committee on February 19th. That committee made up mostly of Democrats. For now, live in the newsroom, John Horn, 10 News.
John.